Oh, there we go. There's the bell. All right. Okay, all right. So there's the bell. All right. Let's see. Okay, so press pause, do the do now real quick, and then we'll get started. Okay. All right, and we're back. So today's do now is the same thing for the last 3 days, right? I'm gonna change it tomorrow. Okay. All right. So you have to do the same thing like the do now yesterday. The sum of a number and five is at most 12. At most, right? So let's write this first. The sum of a number and five. Now, how do you write at most? Right? Maximum, right? Like that. Okay. So we'll solve that. So that would be x is less than or equal to 7. We'll grab it. 3, 4, 5. Oops. All right, something like that. We got 7. Arrow goes to the left. Fill it in. Okay. All right. Let's see. Unit 8, day 3. Let's see. You got a homework tonight. All right. 5 questions. We'll get to that later. By the way, I forgot to do the Q&A yesterday. Okay. I mean, I didn't have anything new to tell you, but exams due today. All right. A few people, like less than 5 people, emailed me to know what their grade is on the test. So yeah, that's fine. You can email me. Now, I don't know. Unfortunately, I still don't know what your grade is so far in the fourth marking period, only because I'm still waiting to go ahead with the grading policy. So as soon as that comes in, I could format my spreadsheet. All right, and then I can tell you grade. So you're gonna have to wait a little bit. Okay. All right, it's coming, but it's taking forever. Okay, all right. So you're gonna have a quiz this Friday, okay, on the stuff that we've done since Monday, okay. Um, you'll see. Okay, all right. So let's see any announcements. Let's see. Oh no, we answered that a long time ago. I gotta erase this actually. Okay, so homework. Homeroom. All right, in your assignments, write your homeroom and then your full name. I just got the feeling that like not making any headways into that. Like I think the folks who are doing it are doing it, and the folks who are not doing it, they're not gonna do it. All right, I think we're kind of at our maximum capacity with following this particular directions. Your homework score will be displayed. No retakes of exams, so get them done. So the unit exam from last Friday is due at 3 today. Okay, so get it done because otherwise I'm gonna take the test offline and you know. Okay, all right. So let's see. All right, so here's where we started. No, that's not even it. Here's where we started yesterday. Right. So yesterday we had a lesson on finding distance between points. You watched the video by Mr. Bell. All right, we talked about this. We practiced a little bit, right? So let's recap what we did. Now, I don't have a video for you to watch to recap what we did yesterday. Instead, at the end of today, of the period, I'm going to show you a Khan Academy video. All right, that's based on this that are like more like word problems, and then afterwards I have an online activity for you to do. Okay, that's also from Khan Academy. That's quite good actually. All right, something different. So the strategy today is get through this, and then have you guys do the two Khan Academy things. Okay. All right. So let's do a few of these together. So what have we learned so far? So now yesterday, what we started off with this. I gave you a graph, and then I asked you guys how how far apart the points are, right? The distance between the points, and then we developed two strategies. We counted the boxes from one end to another, and in the event that we don't have a graph, what's another way of doing it? Okay, so that's the latter part is what we're going to focus on today. All right, without a without a graph, how can you tell how far apart these numbers are? Okay, and again, the strategy generally is as follows. Okay, so let's look at number one. So for number one, right, the first thing you gotta notice, and by the way, at the 6th grade level, okay, I should mention that in a little bit, not right now. What you've noticed right now is that between these two coordinates, these 2 points, there's always a part of the ordered pair that is exactly the same. Meaning one of the coordinates, either the x or the y coordinate, it's always gonna be the same. Okay, and that's the difference between a 6th grade question and a probably an 8th grade or even 10th grade question. Okay, so I'm gonna show you. I know some of you might be curious and interested. So I'll show you how a 6th grader would solve this and what an 8th grader or a 10th grader would have to do. Okay, so watch this. This is cool. So in the 6th grade level, right, what you see is that within each of these questions, there's always a coordinate that's the same, right? So for example, here is the 2, -2 and a -2. All right, I'll change colors, okay, just so that maybe it's easier to see. All right, maybe I end up confusing you. Here for number 2, you see 6 and 6, right? For number 3, do you see that it is what? Yep, -10 and -10. For number 4, what do you see? -2 and -2. And let me use a different color. Do I have a different color? Oh man, I'll use pink. For number 5, it was -5. Okay, you guys probably can't see that. -5 and -5. Okay, so in the 6th grade, all you have to do is to, ask yourself, knowing that these two numbers are the same, that indicates that line is either completely horizontal or vertical. Okay, so if you were to plot this, right, and again, I'm going to discourage you from actually having to plot this, because that's the point of today's lesson, is to not plot points. If you got 7, -2, and 11, -2, it'll be somewhere over here. So it's a perfectly flat horizontal line, right? The question is then, how far is 7 away from 11? And I think you guys all know that it's 4, right? So now, don't get too caught up in the absolute value, okay? Because sometimes I believe that in a definition, where's the definition? In a definition like this, using words like, I mean, nothing wrong with this per se, because in math, your language has to be very specific. Using words like quadrant, absolute value, coordinate, that's three words that you guys are not what? I mean, you guys are familiar with it, but to put 3 new words together at the same time, I think that generally adds to more confusion. So the way I look at it is, how can you do this in such a way that you don't need very deep definitions? Anyways, looking at number 2, right? So again, 6 and 6 are the same, so there's no point looking at them. So for example, 6, 4 will be here. 6, -8 would be somewhere over here. And then you have a line that's completely vertical, right? So remember that rule that you copied down yesterday, right? So the question is this, all right? How far is 4 away? How far is 4 away from -8? That's the question. Now, here I would suggest that you have a mental, all right? Have a mental number line in place. So imagine you're at 4 and you want to get to -8, right? So what would need to happen? Well, you need to go to 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 0, right? So here you traverse 1, 2, 3, 4. You traverse 4 spots here, and then you need to go another, I'm just doing this, another 8 spots to go to -8. You see what I'm saying? So the way I would visualize it is, you want to go from 4 -8, fine. how far does it take to go from 4 to 0, right? Which is 4. How far does it go from 0 to negative 8? 8. So you got 8. So you got to go 4 spots to the left, and then another 8 spots to the left. You just move 12 spots to the left. Okay, so this is also why we did unit 4 in the beginning of the year, right? Remember positive and negative numbers on a number line? It's the same reason. It's just help you guys visualize positive and negative numbers. Okay, so that said, look at number 3, right? The two negative 10s are the same. So how far is 8 away from 5? Yeah, 3 spots, right? Okay, so that's how you would do it. All right, let's do, you know what? I'll leave you alone for a moment. Take a couple of minutes, all right, based on what I've said, do 4. And then do 5. Okay, so look at the examples I've given you up here for the first 3 questions. Go ahead and do that. All right, so press pause and go and do that. Okay, all right, and we're back. So notice how the two negative 2's are the same, right? And so the question is, how far is negative 6 away from 5? So I'm gonna try to demonstrate to you how I visualize it. So to go from negative 6 to 5 all the way here, I need to stop at 0 first, right? So think about it like that. So imagine you're taking like a train and you have to like make a stop somewhere and switch the train, like a subway kind of thing. So negative 6 to 0, how many spots is there? Yeah, 6 spots, right? Regardless. And how far is it from 0 to 5? Yeah, 5 spots. So how many spots are there total? 11 spots. Okay? All right, last one. Okay, for the last one, you notice that both negative 5's are the same. So how far does it go from 2 to 4? To negative 4, actually. So here I got 2, I got negative 4, and I got the train station in the middle, right? How far does it take to go from negative 4 to 0? 4 spots. And how far does it go from 0 to 2? 2 spots. So what's the total? Right, 4 spots plus 2 spots, 6 spots. And that's how you do it. Okay? Now, let me show you, because maybe perhaps you guys are interested in what I'm about to say. So if you're interested, this is for you. So the question is something like, no, it doesn't matter. The question is something like this. All right, what is an 8th grade? How would an 8th grader solve this? So with that said, let me give you an example. So let's use this graph paper here. So that was 6th grade. So what do 8th graders do? So in 8th grade, the way you would solve that, so for example, let's see. I'll give you a good example. So let's say you have 2 points here. So you got 4, 5, you got this, and you got this point, right? And let's say we connect them. All right, should I use a ruler? All right. It's only the professional thing to do. Okay, all right. So let's say, right? Okay. All right, here's the question. Let me show you the question first. The question, and let's see, what's this point here? 8. This point is 8, 5, right? This is 4, 5, and this is 8, 8. So the question in 8th grade will look something like this. The 8th grade question is, how long is this line right here that I'm about to draw? Oops. Right, so if I give you these 2 coordinates, one was 4, 5. By the way, if you want to skip ahead, you could. Okay, I'm not making you watch this part at least. Okay, right. The question is, okay, 4, 5, 8. Now, if you apply or employ a 6th grade strategy, this is not going to work. Why? Because none of these coordinates are the same. So 4 is not the same thing as 8. 5 is not the same thing as 8. All right, which you can see, right? It's not a straight line. I mean, it's not a flat line, right? So it's not perfectly horizontal, it's not perfectly vertical, it's a diagonal. So the question is, how can you solve this? So in the 8th grade, you would solve it like this. You would draw a triangle out of this. So let me use a dotted line, I guess. Yeah, yeah. You would draw a dotted line like this, and thus forming a right triangle. All right, again, I know I'm going off like the deep end, but I figure it's good for you guys to know. So, all right, again, you can skip this part if you want to. Okay, all right. So here, what you realize is you can use the coordinates, or you don't. You can just count the boxes. So here, like, how long is the side of this triangle? 1, 2, 3. How long is the side of this triangle? 1, 2, 3, 4. And what you do is you'll use a formula called a Pythagorean theorem. All right, my handwriting is not that good. All right, and what the Pythagorean theorem states is that the square of these two legs, when you combine them, is the square root of this one. So it's the square of this one. So, you know, okay, again, I'm going off on the deep end. So 3 squared plus 4 squared equals to, right, what? Let's call it x, right? X squared. 3, 3 is 9, 4, 4, 16, x squared. By the way, this is nothing we've not done before, okay? Okay. 9 plus 16 is 25, so square root. So what's the square root of 25? In other words, what number times itself gives you 5? Yeah, 5. So x is 5. So this side is 5. So this is what we call 3, 4, 5 right triangle. Now, some of you might say, hey, Mr. Ring, I thought you told me that this line is never going to be a whole number. Maybe I didn't say that, and maybe I did. But what I'm trying to say is it's almost never, okay, a whole number, okay? Because diagonal lines with square roots, it's more often than not you get a decimal, okay? All right, now, in case you're wondering, hey, you know, in case you're wondering, hey, Mr. Ing, like, what would a 10th grader do, right, in their geometry course? This is what you do, okay? So this is crazy. So I can't explain to you. I actually could explain to you. I think it would just end up taking way more time. So in the 10th grade, when you do this, you're gonna use a formula called a distance formula, okay? And what the distance formula said is you take the square root, all right, of the first x value minus the second x value. That's not an exponent, by the way. That's a subscript. Plus the difference of the two y values, and you square it. Okay. So for example, okay, all right, let's go crazy. So what's the first x value? Let's say the first x value is 8, right? So now basically what it's saying is this. Ignore the two lines of this triangle, right? And imagine for a moment you're getting like, so what your 10th grade teacher is basically saying is, hey, I'm just going to give you these 2 points, and I know the line is not horizontal or vertical, but I need you to find how long this line is exactly, okay? And so this is what you would do. So let's say this is the first x value, right? And that's the second x value, right? Remember, it's xy, right? So this is the first y value. That's the second y value. X1 minus x2 squared. So 8 minus 4 squared plus the second y value minus the second y value. 8 minus 5 squared. So 8 minus 4 is 4. Right? 8 minus 5 is 3, so 3 squared. So what's 4 squared? 16. Right? 3 squared is 9. 16 plus 9 is 25. What's the square root of 25? Still 5. Right? Remember when we drew the triangle? This was 5. It's still 5. Okay, so that's the difference between a 6th grade question where like these coordinates are at least one corresponding coordinates are the same, right? You got -2, 6, 6, -10, -10, so on, so forth. In starting in 8th grade and in high school, they won't. And then the question is, well, how do you still find out exactly how long they are? So that's the challenge for the next few years for you guys. Okay, all right. All that aside, that took really long. Hopefully not. It's okay. It's okay. All right, we'll practice then. Okay. All right. So that's done. All right. In the interest of time, I'm gonna skip this part because of the huge lecture that I gave you guys on 8th grade and 10th grade stuff. All right. Besides, you're not gonna see this like on any exams or anything. So on any quizzes. Okay. So right now, what we're gonna do is this. All right. Let me check something. So right now, what you will do is this. Go to the blog, right, and see this video link here. Watch this video first, and then click on this really long link, and that will take you to an activity. Now, I'm going to show you both at the same time, meaning this. So go ahead, watch this video right here. All right, these are coordinate word problems, okay? And then afterwards, you are going to go to this link in Khan Academy, and you're going to practice these questions. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do one of these questions with you, okay? Just to make sure you guys like get a good start. So there are 7 questions here. Now, look at the instructions. It says plot the points -3, -4 on the coordinate plane below. So -3 is this. So you can actually move these little green dots, okay? -3, -4 on the plane below, and where is the other one? 6, -4. So 6, -4. That's right here. How far is it between these 2 points? You can count, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now you can check this way too, right? Notice how these 2 points are the same. So the question is, how far is -3 away from 6? You know what? Let me see if I could make this a little bigger. Is that better? Yeah, that's better. Okay, right? So how far is -3 away from 6? 9 units. Okay, so let me shrink this back. And then check. Is it checking? Yep. Okay. All right. So it's gonna make a sound. So next question, you do the same thing. Okay. So you just work on that. Okay. And if you get something wrong, they'll correct you and give you hints. So I think this is a great way to end today's lesson. Okay. So how are we doing on time? Yeah, that's about right. Okay. So yeah. All right. Yeah, because I gotta add 10 more minutes for not just for the video, but the access. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So thanks for watching. All right, and have a good day. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye. Okay. Oh, there we go. There's the bell. All right. Don't tell me you don't miss that bell.
OMG, that was so good.